ask that we remain standing, please, as we have much to give God thanks for. We're going to be inviting at this time Mr. Shandell Hanman, Senior Director, Operations at the Cannabis Licensing Authority, to lead us to the throne of grace.
Good morning, everyone. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we, your children, come before your presence once more to give you thanks and praise for sparing our lives to see this yet another day. As we go through this day, Lord, we ask that you send your angels to camp among us. We want to thank you for life. We want to thank you for the opportunity where we could gather in this fashion. As we go through the day, Lord, we ask that you continue to open our minds, that what we do here will benefit this industry, its stakeholders. We put before you, Lord, policymakers, leaders, and industry, the entire industry. In your Holy Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. Is it okay if we ask if God is good? And then if I say all the time? He is indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to give a special welcome to a few special individuals who without them we would not be here this morning. Senator the Honorable Delano C. Wright, a State Minister in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, and you are asked to applaud, please. Thank you. Also joining is Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Mrs. Sansia Bennett Templer, CD. Good morning to you, ma'am. Thank you for being here. Our chairperson for the Cannabis Licensing Authority, Dr. Nadine Spence. We'd like to acknowledge the members of the Board of Directors for the Cannabis Licensing Authority, the Chief Executive Officer for the Cannabis Licensing Authority as well, Ms. Farah Blake. Good morning to you. And she got about 3 woos in the audience, which means she has some fans. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. Members of the Cannabis Task Force. We also want to acknowledge members of the senior management at the Cannabis Licensing Authority, heads of agencies, senior officials from the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, particularly the Industry Division, representatives from the Ganja Growers and Producers Association, licensees of the Cannabis Licensing Authority, key stakeholders and specially invited guests, members of staff at the CLA, and of course the media who will be taking today's event far and wide. Good morning, and thank you all for joining us. Special thanks to the persons joining us via the live stream. Give yourselves a big round of applause for being here. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we have come a far way. Can we agree? Absolutely. As I said before, it is truly my honor to welcome you to the official launch of the Medicinal Cannabis Special Permit Program, hosted by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce in collaboration with the Cannabis Licensing Authority here in Kingston, Jamaica at the AC Marriott Hotel. Now, today marks a significant milestone in Jamaica's ongoing journey of regulation, innovation, and growth within the medicinal cannabis industry, an industry that continues to evolve as a critical pillar, and let me watch my plosives there because I'm popping in the microphone, of scientific advancement, health-focused enterprises, and economic development. And no doubt about it, Cannabis Licensing Authority, they have been at the forefront of shaping Jamaica's legal cannabis landscape, ensuring that the development within the sector remains structured, compliant, and globally aligned. And as we did just now, we have come a far way. With this today, the introduction of the Medicinal Cannabis Special Permit Program, it represents a strategic expansion, one that enhances accessibility, strengthens regulatory efficiency, and positions Jamaica to further leverage opportunities in the global medicinal cannabis market. And I think all the work done so far by this CLA, deserves your round of applause, please, to get us here. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, to give us the overview and to give you your own welcome, let's welcome to this stage Dr. Nadine Spence, or Chairperson for the Cannabis Licensing Authority. Let's give her a good welcome, please.
Debbie and I know each other for a long time, from USO to the State Minister. I might even be brave enough to say they were my students at a point, and I'm extremely proud whenever I go out and I see them represent themselves in this way. You know, speaks to the work. And a colleague of mine sitting there from we were students on the campus. Good morning, everybody. Although the protocols have been observed in respect of the order of those sitting in the room, I want to myself acknowledge the State Minister, Delana Seavright, the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Sansia Bennett-Templar. I see as well the opposition. I assume that this is the opposition, Fitz Jackson, the opposition spokesperson. I don't know the exact title, sir, but I assume that you have responsibility. And a stakeholder. All right. You don't need a mic, not at all. Hear you clear, loud and clear. I want to also acknowledge, in my own regard, the members of the authority, the Cannabis Licensing Authority, who are here. We refer to them as the board. And as well, the CEO, Ms. Farah Blake, who it has been quite a pleasure to work with her since I took office as the chairwoman of the board. And the other members of staff, very efficient, hardworking people at the Cannabis Licensing Authority, and as well the members of staff of the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. And to all of you who are stakeholders, you know, there was a time when I would have been afraid to say ganja industry, but we say so proudly now, right? Because there's so much that we have to be grateful for and to give thanks for, that we've come so far so that today we could sit in company with each other to celebrate something that is so important to all of us, but for so long has brought so much controversy, grief, and sometimes pain. And to see the turnaround and to see the way this is now being approached is quite significant. So I bring you greetings on behalf of the board of the Cannabis Licensing Authority, and it is my honor to welcome you to the launch of such a momentous occasion. We gather here amid exciting advancements and seeds of growth for Jamaica's medical cannabis industry. The recent amendments to the cannabis licensing interim regulations demonstrates the consistent dedication of the CLA as a regulatory agency to the continued development of the sector. The authority welcomes the new amendments, which we are sure will benefit not only current and prospective authorization holders from cultivators to retail spaces, but they will also benefit all authorized employees across the medical cannabis sector. A most welcome development will be the rollout of the permit programs that are expected to promote further inclusivity and opportunity. For us at the CLA, these amendments require a redefining of some processes, introduction and refinement of standard operating procedures, in-house training and stakeholder sensitization, and the building out and implementation of various programs. I am confident that the authority will take on these changes, manage the growing pains, and come out on the other side, having seamlessly adapted and streamlined all the necessary processes and procedures. And to the current and prospective authorization holders and permit holders, I say, continue to work collaboratively with the CLA. The industry is still growing, and its sustainability and success rely not only on the local regulatory and policy environment, but also on the global cannabis market reality and the regulatory environment within which this market has to operate. So remain compliant, continue to voice your feedback, recommendations, and suggestions. Our promise to you is to listen, continue to innovate and grow, and to work with you to build an industry that is inclusive, profitable, stable, and one that remains compliant with local regulations and international treaties and conventions. So today is a good day, right? It's a good day for all of us who believe in the transformative possibilities of this industry. Opportunities abound. Let us continue to work together for the continued advancement of a sector ripe with potential. Let us continue building a sustainable and profitable future together. Thank you all and enjoy the proceedings this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please applaud once more our chairwoman, Dr. Nadine Spence. We thank her so much for her welcome and also our overview of what brought us here today. Indeed, we have done a lot of work, a lot of reworking, researching, and restructuring that has really brought us all here today. And as she said, the sustainability and the success is hinged on all our efforts because we all believe in the transformative potential of this industry. And it has been hailed, as we know it, as being able to bring healing for many nations. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue, we'd like to acknowledge quickly our former chairperson, Christopher McPherson, who is here with us this morning. Good morning to you, sir. How you do? And having done that, we continue with the proceedings. We're going to be inviting at this time to give us an overview of the amendments, Ms. Farah Blake, CEO of the Cannabis Licensing Authority, and we ask all her fans to applaud her and welcome her to the stage. Thank you.
Senator, the Honorable Delana Seabright, State Minister in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Sansia Bennett Templer, CD, Chairperson, Ms. Dr. Nadine Spence, members of the Board of Directors of the Cannabis Licensing Authority, former Chairman, Mr. Christopher McPherson, members of the Cannabis Task Force, members of the senior management of the Cannabis Licensing Authority, fellow heads of agencies, senior officials in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, representatives of the Ganja Growers and Producers Association and other associations, licensees of the Cannabis Licensing Authority, other key stakeholders and specially invited guests, members of staff of the Cannabis Licensing Authority, and members of the media. Good morning. Good morning. It is my duty to give you an overview of the amendments to these regulations, and I will start by giving you just a brief history. In October of 1989, Jamaica acceded to the treaty known as the Single Convention on Narcotics. This treaty, along with the Controlled Substances Act, placed cannabis in their first of 5 schedules, defining it as having no medicinal value and having a high potential for abuse. Other substances included in the schedule are cocaine as well as opium. We fast forward to 2015, when the Dangerous Drugs Act was amended to establish a comprehensive licensing framework for handling of ganja for medical, therapeutic, and scientific purposes. This framework marked a significant step in creating a regulated cannabis industry in Jamaica. With the Cannabis Licensing Authority created through the same amendment, mandated to issue licenses, permits, and authorizations, as well as to oversee compliance and ensure lawful operations. To respond to evolving global trends and the need for more inclusive and efficient regulatory environment, amendments to the previously created interim regulations became necessary. Through stakeholder discussion, meaning suggestions, criticisms, problem identification, a number of changes were identified that would aim to modernize the legislative framework, streamlining processes, and introducing measures to expand participation while maintaining Jamaica's adherence to international obligations. Importantly, the development of these amendments was a collaborative effort involving the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Ministry of Justice, and the CLA, supported by extensive stakeholder consultations. This inclusive approach ensured that the updated framework would align with the industry realities, promote community participation, and strengthen Jamaica's position in the global cannabis market. I recall a meeting very early in my tenure where our permanent secretary introduced me to the work that had already started and gave me instructions to ensure that the completion of these regulations must be done before seeking to make new additions, particularly those that would require extensive research. I nodded and I made a note indicating to her that I indeed understood the assignment. I did not. After a few bouts of to and fro with the ministry's legal department, the Office of the Parliamentary Counsel, I got good context for the PS's instructions. With the now clear understanding of what goes into drafting, working groups at the CLA level, seeking guidance at board level, cross-functional team meetings with our parent ministry, seeking legal counsel on the alignment with other legislation, all navigating our way to carefully abide within the balancing economic opportunities with public health and safety considerations. This work is continuous as we anticipate the presentation of another set of regulations that will address display of cannabis and allow ease of areas in research. With that, I'd like to acknowledge our former chairman, Mr. Christopher McPherson, my apologies, who was very much integral in the work of these regulations. His passion must cause him today to be a very proud man to see where we've come. Thank you, Mr. McPherson. These regulations work in tandem with numerous operational changes that have been made within the CLA, which has transformed the agency into a compliance and client-focused authority rather than an enforcement outfit. Among our achievements are the issuance of almost 200 licenses since our inception. Almost 100 of those licenses have been done within the last 4 years. Our partnership with the Bureau of Standards to train our compliance team in good agricultural practices and good manufacturing practices, equipping them with more skills to guide cultivators to better yields and agri-practices. We achieved and retained our ISO 9000:2015 certification since 2023. We have implemented an emergency and disaster protocol to safeguard crops and inventory during hurricane season, which proved highly beneficial after Hurricane Melissa. In the wake of the most catastrophic hurricane in our history, Jamaica did not have a shortage of cannabis. The Cannabis Licensing Authority has expanded virtual operations where approximately 40% of our ganja sales are conducted remotely. We have introduced a deferral policy which allows an installment-based fee payment for qualified applicants. And last but by no means least, we have relocated our authority to a larger facility that allows for a more customer-centric relationship with our applicants and clients. You can clap for that. Now let's look at the key features of the amended regulations. Before I proceed, I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge Mr. Fitz Jackson and Mr. Paul Burke, who are long-standing stakeholders of the cannabis industry. Now, following stakeholder discussions and advice of the Attorney General, the Ministry took a very deliberate decision to codify these arrangements in law. It is important to note that these programs residing in our regulations essentially mean that they are a part of the CLA's operations. Therefore, the objective of inclusion and expansion of the industry is a staple within CLA. These are not pilot programs, they are programs that have a formal space within the CLA. If you look to your screen, you will see the first of these key amendments. This is the special community permit, which allows for traditional and small-scale farmers to enter the industry as a community or group. Some of the benefits include reduction in the financial barrier. It gives an opportunity to start at a small scale, and the applicants or participants will have access to our technical support team from the Cannabis Specialization Unit. It also gives the participants access to the sale of ganja within the licensed space, and all participants do not have to be located in the immediate physical location. And I believe, very importantly, there are no fees to be charged for this permit. Thank you. The next special permit is the Cultivator's Transitional Special Permit. This permit allows small-scale farmers to enter the regulated space with a view to fully transition within 2 years. It allows 2 years to build capacity and to transition to at least a Tier 1 cultivator. It also reduces the financial barriers on the participants, and they will have access to our technical team, access to the sale of ganja within the licensed space, and again, there is no fee to this permit. The industry has been asking, and I believe this is one of the additions that caused us some delay, passion of our former chairman, Mr. Christopher McPherson, to ensure that the industry has identification cards. This allows an employee to the ease of moving through the industry, being employed from one space to another, without having to come to the CLA for authorization. It legitimizes their employment and allows continuity for employees while police records are being processed. It also mitigates the issues that they may have with interaction with the JCF. Thank you. Our next addition is a standardization of the extension of license. The amendments allow full operation during the extension period. Prior to these amendments, our licensees would only be able to take their crops up to harvest. They would not be able to sell during this period. Therefore, all of the benefits that are aligned to the license would be continued during the extension. Another addition is the standardization of the license tenure. All authorizations, and if you notice I keep saying authorizations, that is another administrative change. So over time you will not be referred to as licensees anymore, but authorization holders, and the licenses will be authorizations. So now all authorizations will be tenured for 3 years. The cultivation authorization is now aligned to all the other license categories. Previously, the cultivation license was only tenured for 1 year. It allows less business interruption and allows the better business planning for authorization holders with less time and resources required for renewal. I think you like that one, Mr. Jackson. That one is particularly for you. Another addition is the standardization of fence height. We have 3 tiers within the cultivator's license, and prior to this, we would have different height requirements for fencing. These amendments bring all of the tiers aligned to one uniform fence height of 6 feet. This allows ease of movement across tiers, whether or not you move up or down. And it also reduces the cost of rebuilding, particularly in the case of natural disasters. It reduces the initial investment as well for new cultivators. The final of the key additions refer to the delivery of cannabis. This allows for the retailers to be able to make their delivery of cannabis to their clients or care visitors. It increases market access and better facilitates brand loyalty to retail authorization holders. It allows clients to receive their cannabis in the event that there's a difficulty, physical or otherwise. We anticipate that these improvements will only help to enhance your business and to strengthen the brand of Jamaica that is renowned worldwide. Thank you so much for your patience and looking forward to continue working with you.
I don't have to ask if she deserves another round of applause. I'm just going to allow you to give it to her. And I also don't need to ask if you're actually happy with what you've heard. Are you pleased with what you've heard? So can we applaud the amendments made and the additions that we've heard so far? Wow, again, we are here. It took some time, but we are here. Jamaica being positioned in the global cannabis industry. And I noted particularly how much we applauded when we heard things like no fees. Right? And especially as well when you mentioned the new identification card. Now we can understand, Ms. Blake, why you have so many fans. But really, we have to applaud the CLA. Can we do that, please? In fact, can I ask all the members who are here to just stand for me? We don't normally get to applaud them or see them, yes, but they've done a lot of work, researching, hearing from you, making the adjustments. And so we applaud them for the work done. Thank you so much. Thank you. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, with all that we have heard, it's time for us to now hear from the industry. So at this time, I invite Ms. Kimberly Meyer, authorization holder. We're going to also be hearing from Mr. Gawain Mahadu, authorization holder, and Mr. Maurice Ellis, president of the Ganja Growers and Producers Association. Please come on up, all of you. And we will start with Ms. Kimberly first.
Good morning, everyone. Settling my nerves. My name is Kimberly Myrie, and I am a licensed retail operator within Jamaica's cannabis industry. So I've been in the industry for a little over 3 years. I call it about 3.5 years. So I'm in my my second license term. I would first like to say I am humbled to be a part of an industry shaped by so many individuals who have paved the way for Jamaica's cannabis sector. The progress we are seeing today stands on the foundation of their work, advocacy, and resilience. I would like to share a personal story. When I first started in this industry, I had absolutely no idea what I was getting myself into. But I can say that I have enjoyed my journey, and with the guidance I've received, especially from the CLA, of course from the CLA, and especially Ms. Blake, I have been able to successfully make it to my second license term. So in my early days of my license term, I faced a significant challenge. My retail space, relatively small, and was not located in a high traffic area. I was a bit disheartened to learn that I could not do deliveries. So this would mean that I wouldn't be able to reach patients who were immobile and so on, and other persons who needed access to their meds. I simply just could not get to them. And that is why the amendments to the regulations have opened new avenues for those of us in the retail space to reach our patients. The introduction of the delivery option puts us right on their doorstep, considering our elderly and the immobile. We are pleased with the new developments and look forward to working with the CLA to ensure continued compliance in this new era. I must also mention that the permit programs focusing on traditional farmers, inclusion and subsequent transition to the regulated space could introduce new and local strains and variety that will diversify our product offerings and positive addition for further growth and development. So, I would like to thank the CLA for listening and actioning our concerns. And here's to continuing to working together in moving forward and innovating and growing Jamaica's medical cannabis industry. Thank you.
Good morning. Forgive me, I'm a little bit nervous because I work hard for each year, so I finally reach. So nervous, just bear with me. Yeah? So my name is Gawain Maado. Yeah, this is my third term licensing. Just give me a minute. So this is my third time licensing. I'm actually a cultivator. Yeah, so I would like to thank CLA for giving me the opportunity because I'm one of the youngest in the industry. Yeah. So we actually welcome some of these new amendments. For example, like the regulation for the fence height and stuff like that, and from the 1 year to the 3 year, because that's one of the things most cultivators face. Because from you start cultivating from the 1 year, the time run out. So by the time I get the 3 years, can be more profitable for most cultivators. So that's one of the main things for us. The amendment made to intake regulation are welcome changes, especially to us cultivators, with the lowering standardization of fence height, the cost income in sourcing our farms, and manufacturing is more manageable. The extension of the vulnerable period of the cultivator organization from 1 year, as I stated before, to 3 years will increase profitable of the cultivator in the industry while offering us more security, as we tend to be the most vulnerable group of the authorization holder. So thanks to CLA for listening to the cultivators to expand in the group period. Okay, thanks much.
Honorable Minister, Madam, excuse me, Madam Permanent Secretary, Chairwoman, Directors, Madam CEO, and all other stakeholders, good morning. The recent amendments to the dangerous drug regulations, specifically the introduction of the special community permit and the cultivator's transitional permit, represent a critical shift towards inclusion in Jamaica's cannabis industry. For decades, traditional farmers have operated outside the formal framework, not by choice, but due to structural barriers, high compliance costs, complex licensing, and limited access to capital. These new permits begin to correct that imbalance. The special community permit has the potential to legitimize grassroots cultivation at scale, empowering organized farmer groups and enabling shared infrastructure, compliance, and market access. The transitional permit importantly creates a bridge, bringing experienced cultivators into the regulated space without immediately subjecting them to full regulatory burdens that they are not equipped to meet. However, permits alone will not deliver transformation. To ensure success, we must simplify the application process, provide technical and financial support to small farmers, ensure guarantee pathways for legally grown product. If not, we risk formalizing exclusion rather than expanding participation. Our position is clear. Inclusion must be intentional, practical, and economically viable. We stand ready as an association to partner with the government to ensure these reforms translate into real opportunity for thousands of small and traditional farmers across Jamaica. Thank you.
Can we keep the applause going, please, for all three members? Yes. We thank them so much for letting us in on, of course, how the amendments, how they found it valuable to their businesses. And we want you to know that the CLA, of course, they hear you and they consider your growth and they want you to be successful. And they've also been applauding you for your compliance. That is what is making today possible. And trust me, they know that there is more to be done, and they are going to do it for sure for this industry's success. Ladies and gentlemen, with all of that said, and with all of what you just heard in true Jamaican style, we had to add some entertainment. I found it very interesting, this performer. Ladies and gentlemen, the site inspector for the CLA. I hear he's been rehearsing in the fields. Mr. Reynard Stamp, he's actually a saxophonist, and he's coming to play for us this morning. Please make him welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, your site inspector for the Cannabis Licensing Authority. You know you're going to have to change your business card, right? You're going to have to put site inspector and saxophonist for the Cannabis Licensing Authority. Not sure how it's going to work out. But ladies and gentlemen, the minister just said it a while ago. He said this is impressive, but I agree. Do you agree? Give him another round of applause, please. Absolutely. Renard Stamp, thank you so much, sir. You can't go back to the office the same way. They're going to ask you to play all day for you, I'm sure. Thank you so much, sir. Very, very well done. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen him. He was one of the first person to get here this morning. That's how much this really means to him, but also because he had an interview, the truth. But we've seen him smiling since, of course, the start of the proceedings, and we know he has been a very hard-working one when it comes on to the CLA. We're honored to have him with us here. Of course, I know representing our hard-working minister, who is unfortunately absent. But ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the Honorable Delano Seavright, our Minister of State in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Be soon. Mr. Reynard Stamp, you are certainly the Employee of the Year. And you have figured out how to diversify your income streams because you have a very amazing skill and a very rare skill. Please give him a round of applause. That's the kind of world we have now where you have to figure it out. The 9 to 5 is not enough. So you have to have other skills, and he has figured out something. So we need to figure out too. Permanent Secretary, thank you. Chairperson, our new chair lady, or chairperson, or chairman. Chairwoman, all right. I did that deliberately. Dr. Nadine Spence, Chief Executive Officer. She's a phenomenal person, knows how to deal with people. And that's a rare trait, I think, within parts of the public sector. The great Farah Blake. Please give her a round of applause. Members of the Cannabis Task Force, members of the Board of Directors of the Cannabis Licensing Authority, heads of agencies, senior officials, representatives of the Ganja Growers and Producers Association, licensees. I want to especially point out our former chairman, Christopher McPherson. A very annoying fellow, but he gets the job done. I can't tell you that. Of course, Annette Henry and Vicky Hansen, please stand. Former senior employees of the Cannabis Licensing Authority. They were there in the rough times. Please give them a round of applause. Of course, MP Fitz Jackson, who is here as a stakeholder, but he's a very vocal parliamentarian too, and you always kind of want to be on his side. So please give him a round of applause for being here today. And of course, the great Paul Burke and others who are here. My secret advisor, Paul Burke, can you please stand so people can... I set him up good and proper right there. So let me, of course, tender apologies for the Honorable Auburn Hill, our Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, who is unavoidably absent, and frankly, who has kept the ball in the court. And he has been absolutely faithful in ensuring that we get these amendments through, along with the Permanent Secretary and the amazing team at the Industry Division and the Cannabis Licensing Authority. Please give him a round of applause for sticking to it. As you can imagine, it's one of the more complex areas of government, the Cannabis Licensing Authority. So we have to give officialdom applause for carrying through these reforms. It's my honor to join you today as we mark an important step forward in strengthening Jamaica's medicinal cannabis industry and to reaffirm the government's clear and unwavering commitment, my friends, to the growth, development, and long-term success. This is truly a full circle moment for me, as one of several vocal advocates in my late 20s, just about 14 years ago, to being a member of the board from 2016 for several years, and of course had the honor of helping to lay some of the early foundations of the industry. Today, now Minister of State in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. So I stand with a deep sense of pride in how we have come witnessing the growth of the authority from its early milestones through the establishment of a strong regulatory framework to this pivotal expansion that now embraces and uplifts our traditional farmers. So it is really, we're really proud of that. I want to reflect also on the journey of an industry shaped by vision, resilience, and collaboration. From the early calls of committed stakeholder groups, including Rastafari. Please give a round of applause to Rastafari. So this would not have happened without their advocacy from the very beginning. So all those bald people must acknowledge that. Of course, academia. I remember the great Archie MacDonald and others, known public commentators, politicians, well, Paul Burke, Mark Golding, who promulgated the legislation in 2015. He deserves a round of applause too, because that requires bravery and courage. Of course, Minister Delroy Chuck, Mike Henry, Raymond Price, Dr. Norman Dunn, Angela Brown-Burke, Philip Powell, and several others, and including former Ministers of Industry, Samuda and Audley Shaw, who also played a role in holding this thing together in the difficult times. Please give them a round of applause too for the work that they have done. Also one wants to point out Shulette Cox, who currently is the head of JAMPRO, but Shulette was the interim CEO and also on the board for quite a while. And she played an absolutely critical role in holding this whole thing together because of the legal complexities, the bureaucratic complexities, the administrative complexities. She held it together, and I want to acknowledge her. I want to acknowledge Cindy Lightburn, one of the former chairmen, and other stakeholders and other key players within the CLA space. Give them a round of applause. So we have to applaud everybody. I don't think you realize how hard it is to get these kind of things done. We need to applaud everybody who played a role. So at the heart of the journey are the people, our traditional farmers, our licensees and our industry partners whose insights, perseverance, and belief in the possibilities of this sector have guided its evolution. Their contributions have not only shaped policy, but have also ensured that the regulatory system remains grounded, responsive, and reflective of the realities on the ground. And today we do not just celebrate how far we have come, we recommit ourselves to where we are going, a future where this industry continues to grow sustainably, inclusively, and with opportunity for all. So today is ultimately about people, our farmers, our communities, our current permit holders who have taken the bold step of investing and shaping and investing in this emerging industry, and the generations who have cultivated this crop aware of the medicinal value long before it became a regulated industry. And I want to acknowledge RAS ILV and other key stakeholders too, who played a role in really educating persons like myself about the value of this industry, not just from a social justice point of view, but a medicinal point of view. I also want to acknowledge Balram Vaswani and the many other stakeholders here, say Kevin Levy and others who all played a role. Can you everybody just stand, please, all the veterans who played a role in the reform process over a decade ago. Paul Burke, you have to stand. Fitz Jackson, all of you, please stand. Kevin. And we have a lot of friends from the United States and Canada who played a critical role. I remember Wanda James. I remember Professor Charles Nesson, who incidentally I think has one of the highest GPAs ever in the history of GPA, of a grade point average. Unbelievable work, and several other key stakeholders. Taken together, these amendments represent a comprehensive effort to remove barriers, expand participation, and improve efficiency across the cannabis value chain. I must also thank the Board of Directors and all stakeholders who have been vocal in identifying the changes needed to strengthen this emerging and culturally significant industry. We recognize that the cannabis industry is more than just an emerging market. It is a vehicle for economic empowerment, job creation, scientific advancement, and social equity. For generations, many have advocated for a fair and inclusive approach to cannabis. Today, we're not only listening, we are acting. So our government is committed to building a regulatory framework that is transparent, efficient, and supportive of businesses. We aim to strike the right balance, ensuring public safety while fostering innovation, investment, and also through strengthened policies and streamlined processes. We're working to remove unnecessary barriers and create an environment where entrepreneurs, farmers, researchers, investors can thrive. So this is not the end. We have more work to do, and I want you to be assured that we want to hear your inputs so we can now do a next round of work to get further amendments through. It takes a lot of time. We have to consult stakeholder groups, we have to consult other ministries, departments of government, we have to consult our lawyers within the Attorney General chambers, the Office of the Chief Parliamentary Counsel, and so on. It's a tremendous amount of work to get these amendments through, but this is not the end, there's more to come. So we also understand that the success of this industry must be inclusive. Small farmers, traditional cultivators, and local communities must have a seat at the table, full stop. Our policies are designed to ensure that the benefits of this industry are widely shared and that no one is left behind. Education and research remain central to our approach. By supporting scientific study and public awareness, we aim to unlock the full medicinal, therapeutic, research, and industrial potential of cannabis, whilst ensuring responsible use and informed decision-making. Furthermore, we are actively engaging with international partners to position our country as a competitive and respected player in the global cannabis space. That is very important. And with the right standards, quality assurance, we need proper product on the market. I can't emphasize it enough. And innovation, we can expand our reach beyond our borders and bring our products to the world stage. So they have me highly scripted here, so you understand, that's not usually me, but I have to be scripted now because I'm in this very professional ministry. Yes. I would like to underscore the point that this government is committed not only to the growth of the cannabis industry, but its integrity. And we will continue to enforce strong regulatory oversight to prevent misuse, protect consumers, and uphold the rule of law. We had a very good discussion at the Cannabis Development Task Force meeting just yesterday, and we discussed the need to ensure that those in the sector who are playing by the rules are properly protected, and those who are not playing by the rules will find ways to handle them properly. Because you can't be playing by the rules and doing everything right, and then there are so many people on the outside doing things wrong. I want to bring a lot of people on the outside in via these mechanisms that Farah spoke about earlier. So these amendments provide Jamaicans with alternative and sustainable avenues for enterprise beyond traditional industries, while supporting the development of emerging roles within the cannabis value chain, including cultivation specialists, trimmers, packagers, extraction technicians, and other key professionals. Importantly, this reform further strengthens Jamaica's overall business environment by widening access and encouraging formalization, and beyond that, improving ease of participation within a regulated sector. So this is a clear demonstration that the government is not only regulating the industry, but actively enabling its expansion and ensuring that more Jamaicans can benefit from its growth. In this regard, please give us a round of applause. That one is for Maurice. I think that one's for you, Maurice. In this regard, we call on all stakeholders to lend their support as we continue building a transparent, inclusive, and competitive industry. The CLA stands ready. I'm very proud of them. I mean, it's not an easy job that they have there. I must tell you, it's complicated work, and it's, you know, Vicky, you know, but they have refined so many of the processes. It's a little better now, I must tell you, much better than it was years ago, because it was a new organization when you guys were there. And it's getting better and better. And with the leadership of Farah Blake, I expect even more success for years to come. So I've committed you to the job for another couple of years, Farah. You're not going anywhere. The CLA, of course, as I said, stands ready, and we look ahead. Our vision for Jamaica's medicinal cannabis industry is one that is fully mature, globally competitive, and deeply integrated into our national development strategy. And over the next 5 to 10 years, we will see an industry that is not only exporting high-quality Jamaican cannabis products to regulated markets around the world, but one that is also driving rural transformation, scientific research, and innovation in wellness, pharmaceuticals, and medicinal tourism. Very important. So we envision a growing sector that attracts visitors seeking regulated wellness experiences, research engagement, culturally rooted therapeutic offerings, further strengthening Jamaica's position as a distinctive destination in the global wellness economy. And at the same time, we anticipate stronger participation from small farmers and community-based enterprises, supported by a streamlined, efficient regulatory system, alongside a thriving ecosystem of local entrepreneurs, researchers, and value-added producers. More importantly, we see an industry that has moved decisively from promise to performance, where Jamaicans at every level are able to benefit from its growth, and where Jamaica is recognized not just for its heritage in the space, but for setting the global standard in a well-regulated, inclusive, and sustainable cannabis industry. So with these landmarks and much more reforms to come, with these landmark amendments, Jamaica continues to position itself ahead of the curve in the Caribbean and indeed among small developing nations globally as we build a cannabis industry that is inclusive, competitive, and sustainable for generations to come. I wanted to comment on Trump, but I don't see it in my speech here, so I'm not going to say a word. Okay? I follow the instructions of my team. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This is a remarkable success. Please give a round of applause to all the stakeholders, the Cannabis Licensing Authority, and the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce for a job well done. Thank you.
The last part of the minister's speech does not necessarily reflect the views or the sentiments of the entire room. But ladies and gentlemen, can you please applaud our minister, please, our Minister of State in this Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, the Honorable Delano Seawright. And we thank him so much as well for acknowledging those key individuals who were there from the very inception of the journey. Can we applaud each and every one of them again, please? And State Minister, we're going to invite you back to the stage, please. We're also going to be inviting as well our Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Sansia Bennett-Templar, and we're also inviting our CEO, as well as the following individuals to join us here for a photo op. We're inviting the representatives from Jacana, Epicon, Everything Oily, Biotech. I see oily here. If that's not correct, I beg your pardon. Is that it's fine? Okay, all right. Everything oily, okay. It's a carnivalist finish. I hope they used it, okay. Biotech, we're inviting Island Kaya Limited. We're also inviting Errol White and Cloud Kana to come forward. Videographers, photographers, we need direction. Tell us where to stand. I believe we can move the podium off the stage and have everyone on here. Let's do that. No? Okay. All right. GIS says no. So can we have everybody then stand to the front here? Is that fine? Yes? We're also inviting Sir Fitz Jackson. I know he doesn't necessarily want to. He didn't want to stand earlier on either. We're inviting you to the front, please, as we are streaming live still on JIS. Minister, we're going to invite, yes, State Minister, we're inviting you to stand here. PS and our CEO, please, we're asking you to stand here. State Minister, you're a little tall, so. Just a little. Photographers, you have some length of room there. We're inviting President of the AGG, I believe. Okay. Sir Jackson says he's not wearing the appropriate shirt this morning. All right, we're being directed properly. Okay, we cannot miss this moment. We have to acknowledge every step with securing the moment. All right, everyone look forward. Put on your best smiles. Everyone look to the camera, say cannabis. Or you'd rather say ganja. I like ganja. I prefer ganja. Look to the camera. Oh, that was easy. All right, here what? Can everybody put up a thumbs up? Can we do a thumbs up to camera? A thumbs up to camera? Thumbs up to camera. Hey. There we go. Special permits. Thumbs up. Everyone's good? Lovely. Thank you so much. You all may be seated. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we can all agree, right? This launch is not just a launch for the sake of having a launch. It's really a testament of the work and the commitments of the CLA and the government of Jamaica. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we're wrapping up, we're going to be inviting to give us a vote of thanks Mr. Walter Melbourne. He is the Director for Licensing and Application. We invite him to the stage, please, to give us the official wrap-up.
Thank you very much, Madam Master of Ceremonies. The Honorable Delano Sivrite, MP, Minister of State and the Minister of Industry, Investments and Commerce, Mrs. Sanchia Bennett Templar, and the team from the Ministry of Industry, Investments and Commerce, Dr. Nadine Spence, and she is the chairwoman, I noted that, chairwoman of the Cannabis Licensing Authority. Ms. Farah Blake, our own CEO of the Cannabis Licensing Authority, head of entities, stakeholders, media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The pleasure is mine to bring you greetings and to say thanks on behalf of the Cannabis Licensing Authority. I begin by recognizing the Minister, Mr. Delano Sivrite, for his words of encouragement, his words of commitment. We took note, Minister, of several things that you said in terms of Jamaica positioning itself among the global cannabis space. Our recommitment to the industry as also to ensure that we have or we create an ecosystem of local investors. We want to say thanks to the PS, Mrs. Bennett Templar, CD, from the Ministry of Industry, Investments and Commerce, and your team, Madam. We want to highlight the invaluable work from the legal department of your ministry for the consistent review and guiding of the entire process. We want to recognize the industry division from the ministry, and we thank them for their support in the creation of the framework for the new programs. We also want to thank Mr. Dwayne Hayes for ensuring that the ministry standards were maintained in the planning of the event. To Dr. Nadine Spence, of course, we thank you for your gracious words and setting the stage very early. Mr. Christopher McPherson, former chair, we thank you also for your efforts in regards to the amendments. Of course, to the past board members and present, we say thank you as well. I want to say thanks to our visionary, empathetic, and decisive leader, Ms. Farah Blake, for your stewardship of this program. We want to thank you for giving the oversight, the review of the amendments. You provide clarity, and I realized that persons were very ecstatic about the aspects of the no fees, and so we thank you, Madam. There are members of the CLA team as well as other board members who worked in collaboration to ensure that the regulations that we're now promulgating came to fruition, and we thank them for that. Mr. Shandel Hannam, Senior Director from the Cannabis Licensing Authority, for your prayer this morning. We thank you for ensuring that the presence of the Almighty is with us. It would be remiss of me not to thank the CLA team and the PR unit working in conjunction with the Events Committee under the skillful hands of Ms. Seymour Brown, our Director of Public Relations, for putting this function together. We also want to thank our local version of Kenny G, or shall I say, Dean Fraser, the saxophonist, Mr. Reynald Stam from the Cannabis Licensing Authority. We also want to thank our vivacious master of ceremonies, Miss Debbie Bissoon, for setting the stage. Your professionalism and grace ensured that the proceedings were very smooth, and we thank you for that, ma'am. We want to extend our gratitude to industry stakeholders. We want to specifically recognize Ms. Mary, Mr. Mahado. We want to also recognize the president of the Ganja Growers and Producers Association for their contribution to the industry. To all our guests, participants, everyone that came to make this a success, we thank you very much. And for those who I did not mention, we have your mailing address and we'll send special things to you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Sir, I hope you have my mailing address as well to send special things as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Walter Melbourne, Director for the Licensing and Applications Cannabis Licensing Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, we've heard the vote of thanks. It brings us to the end of our formalities. What a morning we've had. Do you feel good leaving? Yes, absolutely. Yes. Give the proceedings a round of applause, please, all together. Thank you. Now listen, as our state minister said, from promise to performance, Jamaica has been doing the work, and we will continue to do what is necessary. We heard Mr. Stamp do it earlier on. He paid tribute through music to really our unofficial ambassador of everything, Bob Marley. And then the kings and the queens of the land did their part in keeping the mission going. And this is where we are today. We're looking forward to even more, a fair and inclusive outcome that is transparent and, of course, striking the balance that is necessary. Again, we say thank you to all of you for being here and also for being a part of this important milestone in the cannabis industry's journey. Your presence here today really reflects the growth and the innovation and the responsibility for the development of this evolving space. So before you depart, we are encouraging you to take full advantage of the opportunity to connect and to engage with the team from the CLA and all the other stakeholders. They are here to support and guide you through this path. Thank you again for being here, and please have a safe journey back to work or home. Have a prosperous rest of the day. It has been my pleasure. My name is Debbie Bissoon. Thanks for joining us on JIS, and to all of you for being here in person. Have a good rest of the day. Thank you.